Ever felt hijacked by your reactions during heated arguments? The audiobook, The Art of Not Reacting, 10x Your Calm, 10x Your Joy, 10x Your Life, reveals powerful techniques to master emotional control in conflicts. Learn to navigate tense conversations with unshakable calm, deepen relationships, and find joy in challenging interactions. Don't let impulsive responses sabotage your potential. Discover how to stay composed under pressure and unlock a life of serenity and stronger connections. Your path to mastering calm in any conflict starts here. Before we go on, I invite you to download the free bundle, which contains the ebook version of this book and an executive summary of all the chapters with the key takeaways. Studies show that engaging with content through multiple formats significantly enhances learning and retention. Click on the first link in the description to claim your free bundle now and maximize your learning potential. Now it's free, but it won't be for long, so make sure to grab it while you can. Chapter 1: Calm Catalyst. In a world that seems to spin faster with each passing day, the ability to remain calm amidst chaos has become a superpower. Imagine standing firm as a rock in a raging river, unmoved by the turbulent waters around you. This is the essence of mastering the art of not reacting, a skill that can transform your life in ways you never thought possible. As you embark on this journey through the art of not reacting, you're taking the first step towards a calmer, more joyful existence. This book isn't about avoiding conflicts or suppressing emotions. It's about cultivating a deep inner peace that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. Think back to a moment when you lost your cool. Perhaps it was during a heated argument with a loved one, or while dealing with a frustrating situation at work. How did it feel in the aftermath? The regret, the tension, the emotional drain, all consequences of reacting impulsively rather than responding thoughtfully. Now, imagine an alternative scenario where you maintain your composure, approach the situation with clarity, and emerge feeling empowered rather than depleted. This is the power of mastering emotional control, and it's within your reach. The journey begins with understanding. As you delve into this chapter, you'll start to grasp the fundamental concepts of emotional regulation. It's like learning a new language. At first, the words and phrases might seem foreign, but with practice, they'll become second nature. You'll begin to recognize the subtle cues your body and mind give you when emotions start to rise, allowing you to intercept them before they take control. But understanding is just the first step. The real magic happens when you start putting these concepts into practice. As you progress through this book, you'll encounter a variety of techniques designed to help you maintain calmness in even the most challenging situations. These aren't quick fixes or band-aid solutions. They're powerful tools that, when consistently applied, can rewire your brain and transform your emotional responses. In the beginning, it might feel like you're swimming against the current. Old habits die hard, and your instinctive reactions may try to reassert themselves. But with each small victory, each moment of choosing calm over chaos, you'll be building a new neural pathway. It's like carving a new path through a dense forest. The first few times are the hardest, but with each pass, the way becomes clearer and easier to navigate. As you continue to practice these techniques, you'll notice changes not just in how you handle conflicts, but in your overall well-being. The constant emotional roller coaster that many of us ride daily will start to smooth out. You'll find yourself less affected by minor irritations and better equipped to handle major stressors. This isn't about becoming emotionless or detached. Rather, it's about gaining the ability to choose your emotional responses consciously. The benefits of mastering emotional control extend far beyond just feeling calmer. As you become more adept at managing your own emotions, you'll likely find that your relationships improve. When you're no longer at the mercy of knee-jerk reactions, you create space for more meaningful, empathetic interactions. You might discover that conflicts that once seemed insurmountable now become opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. Moreover, the energy you save by not engaging in emotional battles can be redirected towards pursuits that truly matter to you. Whether it's advancing in your career, nurturing your creativity, or deepening your personal relationships. Emotional mastery frees up mental and emotional resources that you can invest in areas of your life that bring you joy and fulfillment. But let's be clear, this journey isn't always easy. There will be challenges along the way, moments when old patterns try to reassert themselves. The key is to approach these setbacks with compassion and curiosity rather than frustration. Each stumble is an opportunity to learn, to refine your techniques, and to come back stronger. As we dive deeper into this chapter, we'll explore the crucial first steps on this transformative journey. You'll learn how to identify your emotional triggers, those situations, words, or actions that tend to provoke strong reactions in you. This self-awareness is the foundation upon which all other skills are built. It's like having a map of your emotional landscape, allowing you to navigate with greater ease and foresight. Hand in hand with identifying triggers comes the practice of self-awareness and regulation. This involves tuning into your body and mind, recognizing the early signs of emotional arousal, and employing techniques to maintain your equilibrium. It's a bit like learning to surf. At first, you might feel overwhelmed by the waves of emotion, but with practice, you'll learn to ride them skillfully, maintaining your balance even in choppy waters. These initial steps are crucial because they lay the groundwork for everything that follows. Just as a house needs a solid foundation to withstand the elements, your journey towards emotional mastery needs these fundamental skills to support the more advanced techniques you'll encounter later in the book. The order in which we approach these skills is intentional. By starting with self-awareness and basic regulation techniques, we ensure that you have the tools to manage your immediate reactions. This creates a stable base from which you can explore more nuanced aspects of emotional control. It's like learning to walk before you run. Each skill builds upon the last, creating a comprehensive toolkit for emotional mastery. As you progress through this book, you'll encounter a variety of strategies, each designed to address different aspects of emotional control. From shifting perspectives to reframing criticism, from using silence strategically to setting healthy boundaries, each chapter will add new dimensions to your emotional intelligence. But for now, focus on taking those first crucial steps. Begin to pay attention to your emotional responses in daily life. Notice what triggers strong reactions in you. Practice pausing before responding, even if just for a moment. These small actions, repeated consistently, will start to create shifts in your emotional patterns. Remember, the goal isn't to become an emotionless robot, but to develop the ability to choose your responses wisely. Emotions are an integral part of the human experience. They add color and depth to our lives. The art of not reacting isn't about suppressing these emotions, but about managing them skillfully, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom. As we conclude this chapter, you might be feeling a mix of excitement and perhaps a bit of trepidation about the journey ahead. That's perfectly normal. You're embarking on a path of profound personal growth, one that has the potential to transform not just how you handle conflicts, but how you experience life itself. In the chapters that follow, we'll delve deeper into specific techniques and strategies for mastering the art of not reacting. You'll discover how to shift your perspective in ways that diffuse tension and foster understanding. You'll learn the power of reframing criticism, turning what might once have been hurtful words into valuable insights for growth. But before we venture further, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned so far. Consider the potential impact of mastering emotional control in your life. How might your relationships change? How could it affect your work, your creativity, your overall well-being? As you turn the page to the next chapter, prepare yourself for a journey of discovery. The path ahead is filled with insights that have the power to reshape your emotional landscape. Are you ready to explore the transformative power of seeing through new eyes? Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Grow to the Top and activate notifications to receive more self-improvement tips that will supercharge your growth. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you for your support. Chapter 2, Lens Swap. Have you ever found yourself in the midst of a heated argument, feeling your blood pressure rise as you struggle to understand how the other person could possibly think the way they do? It's a common experience, one that often leaves us frustrated, angry, and no closer to resolving the conflict at hand. But what if there was a way to transform these moments of tension into opportunities for growth and understanding? Enter the concept of the lens swap. At its core, this powerful technique is about more than just seeing things differently. It's about fundamentally altering the way we engage with the world around us. Imagine for a moment that you could step out of your own shoes and into those of another person, seeing the world through their eyes, feeling what they feel, understanding their motivations and fears. This is the essence of the lens swap, and it has the potential to revolutionize your interactions and dramatically increase your ability to remain calm in even the most challenging situations. But why is this so important for maintaining calmness? The answer lies in the nature of human conflict itself. When we're locked in disagreement with someone, it's all too easy to become entrenched in our own perspective. We see our viewpoint as the only logical one, and the other person's stance as misguided at best, or deliberately antagonistic at worst. This mindset creates a perfect storm for emotional reactivity. We feel threatened, misunderstood, and often respond with anger or frustration. By learning to swap lenses, we short-circuit this emotional escalation. As we begin to understand the other person's perspective, we naturally become less reactive. It's hard to maintain anger towards someone when you can see the world from their point of view. This doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but it does mean you can approach the situation with a greater sense of empathy and understanding. Moreover, the lens swap enhances our capacity for empathy. Empathy is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it becomes. As we practice seeing situations from different perspectives, we become more adept at understanding and relating to others in all areas of our lives. This increased empathy not only helps us navigate conflicts more smoothly, but also enriches our relationships and deepens our connections with those around us. So how do we actually put this into practice? One of the most effective ways to develop your lens swap skills is through active listening drills. These exercises are designed to help you truly hear and understand what another person is saying, rather than simply waiting for your turn to speak. The next time you're in a conversation, try this. Focus entirely on what the other person is saying. Don't think about your response. Don't mentally argue with their points. Just listen. Then, before you respond, try to summarize what they've said in your own words. This simple act can dramatically shift the dynamic of a conversation, creating a space of understanding and mutual respect. Another powerful exercise involves perspective-taking scenarios. This can be done in your daily life or as a more structured practice. When you encounter a situation where you disagree with someone, take a moment to imagine the scenario from their point of view. What might be motivating their actions or words? What experiences or beliefs might be shaping their perspective? By regularly engaging in this mental exercise, you'll find that it becomes easier to shift perspectives in real time during actual conflicts. As you begin to incorporate these practices into your life, you'll likely notice a range of outcomes. At the most basic level, you'll develop a fundamental understanding of others' perspectives. This alone can significantly reduce the frequency and intensity of conflicts in your life. You'll find yourself less quick to judge and more open to considering alternative viewpoints. As you become more adept at the lens swap, you may find that you're able to empathize in a wider range of situations. Conflicts that once would have escalated into heated arguments might now become opportunities for meaningful dialogue. You'll be able to maintain your composure even when faced with viewpoints that differ dramatically from your own. At its best, mastering the lens swap can lead to a state of consistent calmness and empathy in all your interactions. Imagine moving through life with a deep, intuitive understanding of the people around you. Conflicts don't disappear. They're a natural part of human interaction, but they transform into opportunities for growth and deeper connection. Of course, like any skill, the lens swap comes with its challenges. One common pitfall is misinterpreting others' viewpoints. It's easy to think we understand someone's perspective when in reality, we're projecting our own assumptions onto them. The key to overcoming this is to practice active listening religiously. Always verify your understanding by reflecting back what you've heard and asking for clarification. Another obstacle is emotional bias. Our own feelings and experiences can color our interpretation of others' perspectives, making it difficult to truly see things from their point of view. Regular self-reflection is crucial here. Take time to examine your own biases and emotional triggers. The more aware you are of your own lens, the easier it becomes to swap it for another. As you continue to practice the lens swap, you'll likely find that it becomes more natural and automatic. What once required conscious effort will start to happen instinctively. You'll catch yourself naturally considering different perspectives in various situations, not just during conflicts. This shift can have profound effects on your life. Relationships that were once strained by misunderstanding may begin to flourish. You might find yourself better able to navigate complex social or professional situations. The reduced emotional stress from fewer conflicts can lead to improvements in your overall well-being. Remember, the goal of the lens swap isn't to abandon your own perspective or to always agree with others. It's about expanding your understanding and creating space for multiple viewpoints to coexist. By doing so, you create a foundation for more meaningful dialogue and more effective problem-solving. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on how the lens swap might apply to your life. Think about a recent conflict or disagreement you've experienced. How might the outcome have been different if you'd been able to fully see and understand the other person's perspective? How might it have affected your emotional state during and after the interaction? The journey of mastering the lens swap is ongoing. Each interaction presents a new opportunity to practice and refine your skills. As you move forward, remember that the goal isn't perfection, but progress. Each time you make the effort to see through another's eyes, you're building your capacity for empathy and understanding. In the next chapter, we'll explore another powerful technique for maintaining calmness in the face of adversity. It's a skill that can transform even the harshest words into stepping stones for growth. Are you ready to discover how to turn criticism into your secret weapon for personal development? Chapter 3, Diamond Cut. Imagine holding a rough, unpolished stone in your hand. At first glance, it might seem unremarkable, perhaps even flawed. But with skilled cutting and polishing, this same stone can be transformed into a brilliant diamond, its true beauty and value revealed. This transformation is not unlike the journey we're about to embark on in this chapter, a journey that will change the way you perceive and respond to one of life's most challenging experiences. We've all felt the sting of criticism at some point in our lives. Those moments when someone points out our flaws or shortcomings can feel like a direct attack on our self-worth. It's natural to feel defensive, to want to shield ourselves from the pain. But what if I told you that these very moments of discomfort could be the key to unlocking your greatest potential? The concept we're exploring in this chapter is about more than just handling criticism better. It's about fundamentally shifting your perspective on feedback, transforming it from a threat into an invaluable tool for personal growth. This shift is at the heart of what we call the diamond cut, a technique that allows you to see the hidden value in even the harshest criticism. But why is this so crucial for maintaining calmness? The answer lies in our natural response to criticism. When we feel attacked, our body's stress response kicks in. Our heart rate increases, our muscles tense, and we become primed for fight or flight. This physiological response makes it incredibly difficult to stay calm and composed. By learning to reframe criticism, we can short-circuit this stress response, allowing us to remain calm and clear-headed even in the face of negative feedback. Moreover, adopting this new perspective encourages a growth mindset. Instead of seeing criticism as a judgment of your worth, you begin to view it as information that can help you improve. This shift in mindset is incredibly powerful. It transforms challenges into opportunities, setbacks into stepping stones. When you embrace a growth mindset, you become more resilient, more adaptable, and ultimately more successful in all areas of your life. So, how do we put this into practice? One effective exercise is to practice reframing criticism in low-stakes situations. The next time you receive any form of feedback, whether it's a comment on your work or a suggestion from a friend, try this. Instead of immediately reacting, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This simple question shifts your focus from defending yourself to seeking value in the feedback. Another powerful technique is to engage in regular feedback analysis sessions. Set aside time each week to reflect on the feedback you've received. Look for patterns. Are there certain areas where you consistently receive criticism? These patterns can highlight areas for growth that you might not have noticed on your own. Remember, the goal isn't to berate yourself, but to identify opportunities for improvement. As you begin to incorporate these practices into your life, you'll likely notice a range of outcomes. At the most basic level, you'll find that your emotional reactions to criticism begin to soften. Comments that once would have ruined your day might now barely ruffle your feathers. This reduced emotional reactivity alone can significantly improve your quality of life, allowing you to navigate challenging interactions with greater ease. As you become more adept at reframing criticism, you may find that you're able to constructively use feedback in ways you never thought possible. Criticism that once felt like an attack now becomes a roadmap for improvement. You might even find yourself seeking out feedback, recognizing it as a valuable resource for personal and professional growth. At its best, mastering the diamond cut can lead to profound personal growth and improved relationships. When you're no longer defensive in the face of criticism, your interactions with others become more open and authentic. You become someone who can engage in honest, constructive dialogue, fostering deeper connections and more effective collaborations. Of course, like any skill, reframing criticism comes with its challenges. One common pitfall is taking criticism personally. It's easy to conflate feedback about your actions or work with judgments about your worth as a person. The key to overcoming this is to focus on the content of the criticism, not the delivery. Try to separate the information being conveyed from any emotional charge it carries. Another obstacle is overlooking the constructive elements in criticism. Sometimes valuable feedback can be buried within harsh or poorly delivered criticism. It takes practice to sift through emotional language and extract the useful information. One way to develop this skill is to practice objective analysis. When receiving feedback, try to write it down word for word, then review it later when you're feeling calm and centered. This distance can help you see the constructive elements more clearly. As you continue to practice the diamond cut, you'll likely find that it becomes more natural and automatic. What once required conscious effort will start to happen instinctively. You'll catch yourself naturally looking for the learning opportunity in critical feedback rather than becoming defensive. This shift can have profound effects on your life. Relationships that were once strained by defensiveness may begin to flourish. You might find yourself advancing more quickly in your career as you become more adept at using feedback to improve your performance. The reduced emotional stress from criticism can lead to improvements in your overall well-being. Remember, the goal of the diamond cut isn't to become impervious to criticism or to always agree with negative feedback. It's about developing the ability to engage with criticism constructively, to see its potential value without being overwhelmed by its emotional impact. By doing so, you create opportunities for growth and improvement in all areas of your life. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on how the diamond cut might apply to your life. Think about a recent instance where you received criticism. How might the outcome have been different if you'd been able to reframe that criticism as valuable feedback? How might it have affected your emotional state during and after the interaction? The journey of mastering the diamond cut is ongoing. Each piece of criticism you receive presents a new opportunity to practice and refine your skills. As you move forward, remember that the goal isn't to eliminate your emotional response to criticism entirely, but to develop the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react defensively. In the next chapter, we'll explore another powerful technique for maintaining calmness in challenging interactions. It's a skill that can transform the way you communicate, creating deeper understanding and connection. Are you ready to discover the hidden power of your own words? Chapter 4, Verbal Mirror. Have you ever felt like you were talking to a wall during a conversation? That frustrating sensation when your words seem to bounce off the other person, never quite landing or being understood? It's a common experience that often leads to misunderstandings, escalating tensions, and frayed nerves. But what if I told you there's a simple yet powerful technique that could transform these challenging interactions into opportunities for deeper connection and understanding? Enter the world of the verbal mirror. At its core, this technique is about more than just repeating what someone else has said. It's about creating a reflection of their thoughts and feelings, a mirror that shows them they've been truly heard and understood. But the magic of this approach goes far beyond mere repetition. It's a subtle art that, when mastered, can diffuse tension, build rapport, and create a space for genuine dialogue. Think back to a time when you felt truly listened to. Remember how it felt to have someone give you their full attention, to feel that they genuinely understood what you were saying and feeling. That's the power of the verbal mirror in action. It's about creating that same feeling for others, even in the midst of disagreement or conflict. But why is this so crucial for maintaining calmness? The answer lies in the fundamental human need to be heard and understood. When we feel that our perspective is being dismissed or misunderstood, it triggers a stress response. We become defensive, our emotions intensify, and the likelihood of conflict escalates. By using the verbal mirror, we short-circuit this stress response. We create a sense of validation that allows the other person to feel heard, which in turn helps them to remain calm and open to further dialogue. Moreover, the act of mirroring itself helps us to stay calm. When we focus on accurately reflecting the other person's words and emotions, we naturally slow down our own reactive tendencies. Instead of immediately jumping to defend our position or counter-argue, we create a pause, a moment of reflection that allows us to respond more thoughtfully and constructively. So how do we put this into practice? One effective exercise is to engage in mirroring practice sessions. Find a partner, a friend, family member, or colleague, and take turns sharing thoughts or experiences while the other person practices reflecting back what they've heard. Start with simple statements and gradually move to more complex or emotionally charged topics. The key is to focus on capturing not just the words, but the underlying emotions and meanings. Another powerful technique is to engage in role-playing exercises that simulate reflective listening in challenging situations. Imagine scenarios where conflicts might arise: a disagreement with a coworker, a misunderstanding with a partner, or a tense family discussion. Practice using the verbal mirror to navigate these situations, paying attention to how it changes the dynamic of the interaction. As you begin to incorporate the verbal mirror into your daily interactions, you'll likely notice a range of outcomes. At the most basic level, you'll find that you're able to validate others' feelings more effectively. Even in situations where you disagree, you'll be able to acknowledge the other person's perspective in a way that makes them feel heard and respected. As you become more adept at using this technique, you may find that you're able to de-escalate conflicts more effectively. Conversations that once might have spiraled into heated arguments now remain calm and productive. You'll notice that by creating a space where both parties feel heard, you're able to navigate disagreements with greater ease and mutual understanding. At its best, mastering the verbal mirror can lead to deepened understanding and rapport in all your relationships. When people feel consistently heard and understood in their interactions with you, it fosters a sense of trust and openness. You may find that your personal and professional relationships become richer and more rewarding as a result. Of course, like any skill, using the verbal mirror comes with its challenges. One common pitfall is misinterpreting statements. In our eagerness to reflect back what we've heard, we might sometimes miss the mark, leading to further misunderstanding. The key to overcoming this is to ask clarifying questions. Don't be afraid to check your understanding. Phrases like, "So what I'm hearing is," or "Do you mean that?" can be incredibly helpful in ensuring you've accurately captured the other person's meaning. Another potential obstacle is over-reliance on mirroring. While the verbal mirror is a powerful tool, it shouldn't be the only technique in your communication toolkit. If used exclusively or mechanically, it can come across as insincere or even patronizing. The solution is to balance mirroring with genuine responses. Use the technique to create understanding, but also share your own thoughts and feelings authentically. As you continue to practice the verbal mirror, you'll likely find that it becomes more natural and intuitive. What once required conscious effort will start to happen automatically in your conversations. You'll catch yourself naturally reflecting back what others have said, creating a rhythm of understanding and connection in your interactions. This shift can have profound effects on your life. You might find that your professional relationships improve as you become known as someone who truly listens and understands. Personal relationships may deepen as your loved ones feel more heard and validated in their interactions with you. The reduced emotional stress from fewer misunderstandings and conflicts can lead to improvements in your overall well-being. Remember, the goal of the verbal mirror isn't to simply parrot back what others have said. It's about creating a genuine reflection of their thoughts and feelings, a mirror that shows them they've been truly heard and understood. By doing so, you create a foundation for more meaningful dialogue and more effective problem-solving in all areas of your life. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on how the verbal mirror might apply to your life. Think about a recent conversation where misunderstanding led to tension or conflict. How might the outcome have been different if you'd been able to effectively mirror the other person's words and feelings? How might it have affected the emotional tone of the interaction? The journey of mastering the verbal mirror is ongoing. Each conversation presents a new opportunity to practice and refine your skills. As you move forward, remember that the goal isn't perfection, but progress. Each time you make the effort to truly hear and reflect back what others are saying, you're building your capacity for empathy, understanding, and calm communication. In the next chapter, we'll explore another powerful technique for maintaining calmness in challenging situations. It's a skill that can transform the way you approach disagreements, turning potential conflicts into opportunities for collaboration. Are you ready to discover the hidden bridge that connects even the most opposing viewpoints? Chapter 5, Shared Ground. In the heat of an argument, it's easy to feel like you're worlds apart from the person you're disagreeing with. The gap between your perspectives can seem vast and unbridgeable, like a chasm stretching out before you. But what if I told you that hidden within every disagreement, no matter how fierce, there lies a secret pathway to understanding and resolution? This pathway is what we call shared ground, and learning to find it can transform the way you approach conflicts and disagreements. But what exactly is this shared ground, and why is it so powerful? To understand its true potential, we need to shift our perspective on what disagreement really means. Think back to the last time you found yourself in a heated discussion. In the moment, it probably felt like you and the other person were on opposite sides of an unbridgeable divide. But if you look closer, you might find that beneath the surface of your disagreement, there were actually areas where your views aligned. These points of alignment, no matter how small, are the building blocks of shared ground. The power of shared ground lies in its ability to change the entire dynamic of a conflict. When we focus solely on our differences, tension rises and emotions flare. But when we actively seek out and acknowledge the areas where we agree, something remarkable happens. The atmosphere shifts. The adversarial energy dissipates, replaced by a sense of connection and shared purpose. But why is this so crucial for maintaining calmness? The answer lies in our natural response to conflict. When we perceive someone as an opponent, our stress response kicks in. Our heart rate increases, our muscles tense, and we become primed for confrontation. This physiological response makes it incredibly difficult to stay calm and composed. By finding shared ground, we short-circuit this stress response. We remind ourselves and the other person that we're not enemies, but collaborators working towards a common goal. Moreover, acknowledging shared ground builds rapport and trust. When we show that we're willing to recognize points of agreement, it signals to the other person that we're approaching the conversation in good faith. This openness can be contagious, encouraging the other person to reciprocate and look for areas of agreement as well. So how do we put this into practice? One effective exercise is to engage in commonality identification drills. The next time you find yourself disagreeing with someone, challenge yourself to find at least 3 points of agreement, no matter how small. These could be shared values, common goals, or even agreement on basic facts. The key is to actively search for these points of connection, even when they're not immediately obvious. Another powerful technique is to practice collaborative problem-solving scenarios. This involves reframing disagreements as shared challenges to be solved together, rather than battles to be won. Start by clearly stating the problem you're both trying to solve, then work together to brainstorm solutions that address both of your concerns. This approach naturally encourages you to find common ground and work towards mutually beneficial outcomes. As you begin to incorporate these practices into your life, you'll likely notice a range of outcomes. At the most basic level, you'll find that you're able to recognize areas of agreement more easily, even in the midst of disagreement. This alone can significantly reduce the emotional intensity of conflicts, allowing you to remain calmer and more composed. As you become more adept at finding shared ground, you may find that you're able to enhance cooperation even in challenging conflicts. Conversations that once might have devolved into unproductive arguments now become opportunities for collaborative problem-solving. You'll notice that by focusing on areas of agreement, you create a foundation from which you can more easily address your differences. At its best, mastering the art of finding shared ground can lead to strong collaborative relationships in all areas of your life. When you consistently approach disagreements with an eye towards finding common ground, you build a reputation as someone who can bridge divides and bring people together. This can be invaluable in both personal and professional contexts, opening up new opportunities for leadership and positive influence. Of course, like any skill, finding shared ground comes with its challenges. One common pitfall is overlooking commonalities, especially when emotions are running high. It's easy to become so focused on the points of disagreement that we miss the areas where we actually agree. The key to overcoming this is to practice active searching. Make it a habit to consciously look for points of agreement in every conversation, not just during conflicts. Another potential obstacle is miscommunication about the areas of agreement you've identified. Sometimes, what we perceive as a point of agreement might be interpreted differently by the other person. To avoid this, it's important to clarify and confirm agreements. Use phrases like, "So it seems we both agree that," or "Can we confirm that we're on the same page about," to ensure you're truly finding common ground. As you continue to practice finding shared ground, you'll likely find that it becomes more natural and intuitive. What once required conscious effort will start to happen automatically in your interactions. You'll catch yourself naturally looking for points of agreement, even in the most challenging conversations. This shift can have profound effects on your life. You might find that your professional relationships improve as you become known as someone who can find common ground and build consensus. Personal relationships may deepen as you're able to navigate disagreements with greater ease and mutual understanding. The reduced emotional stress from fewer unresolved conflicts can lead to improvements in your overall well-being. Remember, the goal of finding shared ground isn't to ignore or minimize real differences. It's about creating a foundation of understanding and collaboration from which you can more effectively address those differences. By doing so, you create opportunities for more productive dialogue and more satisfying resolutions in all areas of your life. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on how the concept of shared ground might apply to your life. Think about a recent disagreement you've had. Even if it felt like you were worlds apart, can you identify any points of agreement, no matter how small? How might the conversation have been different if you had actively sought out and acknowledged these areas of common ground? The journey of mastering the art of finding shared ground is ongoing. Each disagreement presents a new opportunity to practice and refine your skills. As you move forward, remember that the goal isn't to eliminate all differences, but to create a foundation of understanding from which those differences can be addressed constructively. In the next chapter, we'll explore another powerful technique for maintaining calmness in challenging situations. It's a skill that can transform the way you navigate even the most heated discussions, turning potential arguments into opportunities for deeper understanding. Are you ready to discover the hidden power that lies in the questions you ask? Chapter 6, Neutral Shift. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation that seemed to be spiraling out of control, emotions rising, voices getting louder, and the possibility of a productive outcome slipping further away with each heated exchange? In these moments, it can feel like you're caught in a whirlwind, powerless to change its course. But what if I told you that you possess a tool so powerful it can calm the storm, redirect the wind, and transform the entire landscape of the conversation? This tool is what we call the neutral shift, and mastering it can revolutionize the way you navigate challenging conversations. But what exactly is this neutral shift, and why does it hold such transformative power? To truly understand its potential, we need to explore the hidden dynamics that underlie our most difficult interactions. Think back to the last time you found yourself in a heated discussion. In the heat of the moment, it probably felt like you were locked in a battle of wills, each side determined to prove their point and emerge victorious. But what if winning the argument isn't the goal? What if, instead, the real victory lies in steering the conversation towards mutual understanding and productive dialogue? This is where the neutral shift comes into play. At its core, this technique is about mastering the art of asking the right questions at the right time. But these aren't just any questions. They're carefully crafted, neutral inquiries designed to redirect the flow of the conversation, diffuse tension, and create space for more thoughtful and constructive dialogue. But why is this so crucial for maintaining calmness? The answer lies in the nature of conflict itself. When we're engaged in a heated argument, our stress response kicks in. Our heart rate increases, our muscles tense, and our thinking narrows, focusing solely on defending our position. This physiological response makes it incredibly difficult to stay calm and see the bigger picture. By employing the neutral shift, we interrupt this stress cycle. We create a pause, a moment of reflection that allows both parties to step back from the brink of escalation and re-engage in a more thoughtful manner. Moreover, the act of asking questions shifts the focus from conflict to dialogue. Instead of trading accusations or defensive statements, we invite the other person to share more about their perspective. This not only helps to diffuse tension, but also encourages more thoughtful responses. When people feel heard and are given the opportunity to explain their viewpoint, they're often more open to considering other perspectives as well. So how do we put this into practice? One effective exercise is to practice crafting neutral questions. Start by identifying topics that often lead to heated discussions in your life. Then, for each topic, try to come up with 3 to 5 open-ended neutral questions that could help redirect the conversation if it starts to get heated. The key is to make these questions genuinely curious and non-judgmental. For example, instead of asking, "Why can't you see that you're wrong?" you might ask, "Can you help me understand what experiences have shaped your view on this?" Another powerful technique is to engage in role-playing exercises that simulate challenging conversations. Find a partner and take turns playing different roles in potentially contentious scenarios. Practice using your neutral questions to redirect the conversation when it starts to get heated. Pay attention to how the energy of the interaction changes when you introduce these questions. As you begin to incorporate the neutral shift into your daily interactions, you'll likely notice a range of outcomes. At the most basic level, you'll find that you're able to redirect conversations away from unproductive arguments more effectively. Even in situations where tensions are high, you'll be able to create moments of pause that allow for more thoughtful engagement. As you become more adept at using this technique, you may find that you're able to diffuse tension more effectively in a wide range of situations. Conversations that once might have escalated into full-blown arguments now remain calm and productive. You'll notice that by consistently redirecting focus towards understanding rather than winning, you're able to navigate disagreements with greater ease and mutual respect. At its best, mastering the neutral shift can lead to consistently productive and calm dialogues, even in the face of significant disagreements. When you become skilled at asking the right questions at the right time, you create an environment where thoughtful discussion flourishes. This can transform your personal and professional relationships as you become known as someone who can navigate difficult conversations with grace and effectiveness. Of course, like any skill, employing the neutral shift comes with its challenges. One common pitfall is misjudging the timing of when to introduce your redirecting questions. Intervene too early, and you might cut off important expression of emotions. Wait too long, and the conversation might have already escalated beyond the point where a simple question can help. The key to overcoming this is to practice situational awareness. Pay close attention to the emotional temperature of the conversation, looking for those moments when a well-timed question can have the most impact. Another potential obstacle is crafting ineffective questions. Sometimes, in our attempt to be neutral, we might ask questions that are too vague or disconnected from the core of the discussion. This can lead to confusion or frustration rather than redirection. The solution is to continually refine your questioning skills. After each challenging conversation, reflect on which questions were most effective in shifting the tone and why. Use these insights to improve your question crafting over time. As you continue to practice the neutral shift, you'll likely find that it becomes more natural and intuitive. What once required conscious effort will start to happen automatically in your interactions. You'll catch yourself naturally asking redirecting questions in tense moments, creating space for more productive dialogue almost effortlessly. This shift can have profound effects on your life. You might find that your professional relationships improve as you become known as someone who can navigate difficult conversations with skill and grace. Personal relationships may deepen as you're able to address conflicts in a way that brings you closer rather than driving you apart. The reduced emotional stress from fewer escalated arguments can lead to improvements in your overall well-being. Remember, the goal of the neutral shift isn't to avoid difficult topics or to suppress disagreement. It's about creating a space where different viewpoints can be explored thoughtfully and respectfully. By mastering this technique, you create opportunities for deeper understanding and more satisfying resolutions in all areas of your life. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on how the neutral shift might apply to your life. Think about a recent heated discussion you've had. Can you identify moments where a well-crafted, neutral question might have changed the course of the conversation? How might the outcome have been different if you had been able to redirect the focus towards understanding rather than winning? The journey of mastering the neutral shift is ongoing. Each challenging conversation presents a new opportunity to practice and refine your skills. As you move forward, remember that the goal isn't to control or manipulate the conversation, but to create an environment where productive dialogue can flourish. In the next chapter, we'll explore another powerful technique for maintaining calmness in challenging situations. It's a skill that can transform the way you respond to provocation, turning potential flashpoints into moments of profound insight. Are you ready to discover the hidden strength that lies in the spaces between words? Chapter 7: Silence Gap. In the symphony of human interaction, we often focus on the notes, the words we say, the arguments we make, the points we try to drive home. But what if I told you that the most powerful part of the music isn't in the notes at all, but in the spaces between them? In conversation, as in music, these spaces, these moments of silence, can be transformative, carrying as much meaning and power as any word ever spoken. Welcome to the world of the silence gap, a technique so subtle yet so potent that it can completely reshape the landscape of your most challenging interactions. But what exactly is this silence gap, and why does it hold such transformative power? To truly understand its potential, we need to explore the hidden dynamics that underlie our most difficult conversations. Think back to the last time you found yourself in a heated discussion. In the heat of the moment, it probably felt like a rapid-fire exchange, each person rushing to get their point across, interrupting, talking over each other. The pace quickens, emotions rise, and before you know it, you're saying things you don't mean, reacting instead of responding. But what if you could press pause on that moment, creating a space for reflection and thoughtful response? This is where the silence gap comes into play. At its core, this technique is about mastering the art of intentional silence. It's about learning to be comfortable in the quiet moments, to resist the urge to fill every second with words, and to use these pauses strategically to create space for thought and calm. But why is this so crucial for maintaining calmness? The answer lies in the nature of our stress response. When we're in a tense situation, our body goes into fight or flight mode. Our heart rate increases, our breathing becomes shallow, and we feel an urgent need to react. This physiological response makes it incredibly difficult to stay calm and think clearly. By employing the silence gap, we interrupt this stress cycle. We create a moment of pause that allows our body and mind to reset, giving us the opportunity to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Moreover, silence provides space for reflection, not just for ourselves, but for the other person as well. In the quiet moments, both parties have the opportunity to process what's been said, to consider new perspectives, and to formulate more thoughtful responses. This can dramatically change the tone and direction of a conversation, steering it away from confrontation and towards understanding. So how do we put this into practice? One effective exercise is to practice incorporating intentional silences into your everyday conversations. Start small. Try counting to 3 in your head before responding to someone, even in casual interactions. As you become more comfortable with these small pauses, gradually increase their duration. Pay attention to how these moments of silence affect the rhythm and tone of your conversations. Another powerful technique is to practice reflection and pause techniques. When you find yourself in a tense situation, take a deep breath and consciously create a moment of silence. Use this time to ask yourself reflective questions. What's really important here? What might the other person be feeling? How can I respond in a way that moves this conversation in a positive direction? This internal dialogue, conducted in the silence, can profoundly shift your approach to the interaction. As you begin to incorporate the silence gap into your daily interactions, you'll likely notice a range of outcomes. At the most basic level, you'll find that you're able to use silence as a tool for reflection more effectively. Even in mildly challenging situations, you'll be able to create moments of pause that allow for more thoughtful engagement. As you become more adept at using this technique, you may find that you gain enhanced control over the pace and tone of your conversations. You'll be able to slow down heated exchanges, creating space for more measured and productive dialogue. You'll notice that by consistently using intentional silences, you're able to navigate difficult conversations with greater ease and composure. At its best, mastering the silence gap can lead to consistently thoughtful and composed interactions, even in the face of significant provocation. When you become skilled at using silence strategically, you create an environment where calm, reflective discussion flourishes. This can transform your personal and professional relationships as you become known as someone who can maintain composure and clarity even in the most challenging situations. Of course, like any skill, employing the silence gap comes with its challenges. One common pitfall is discomfort with silence. In our fast-paced, noise-filled world, many of us have become uncomfortable with quiet moments. We may feel an urge to fill every silence, fearing that it will be perceived as awkward or that we'll lose control of the conversation. The key to overcoming this is gradual exposure. Start by practicing silence in low-stakes situations, gradually working your way up to more challenging contexts. Over time, you'll find that silence becomes not just comfortable, but empowering. Another potential obstacle is the misinterpretation of silence. Sometimes our silences might be perceived as disinterest, anger, or disagreement, especially if the other person isn't familiar with this technique. To address this, it's important to use nonverbal cues effectively. Maintain open body language, make appropriate eye contact, and use facial expressions that convey attentiveness and thoughtfulness. These cues can help ensure that your silence is understood as a moment of reflection rather than a negative response. As you continue to practice the silence gap, you'll likely find that it becomes more natural and intuitive. What once required conscious effort will start to happen automatically in your interactions. You'll catch yourself naturally creating these moments of pause in tense situations, using them to maintain your calm and respond more effectively. This shift can have profound effects on your life. You might find that your professional relationships improve as you become known as someone who can maintain composure under pressure. Personal relationships may deepen as you're able to navigate conflicts with greater patience and understanding. The reduced emotional stress from fewer impulsive reactions can lead to improvements in your overall well-being. Remember, the goal of the silence gap isn't to become silent or unresponsive. It's about creating intentional spaces within your conversations that allow for deeper reflection, more thoughtful responses, and ultimately, more productive and harmonious interactions. By mastering this technique, you create opportunities for greater understanding and more satisfying resolutions in all areas of your life. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on how the silence gap might apply to your life. Think about a recent challenging conversation you've had. Can you identify moments where an intentional pause might have changed the course of the interaction? How might the outcome have been different if you had been able to create space for reflection before responding? The journey of mastering the silence gap is ongoing. Each conversation presents a new opportunity to practice and refine your skills. As you move forward, remember that the power of silence lies not in its duration, but in how you use it to foster understanding and maintain your inner calm. In the next chapter, we'll explore another powerful technique for maintaining calmness in challenging situations. It's a skill that can transform the way you engage with the world around you, creating a protective barrier that shields your inner peace from external turbulence. Are you ready to discover the invisible force field that can safeguard your serenity in even the most chaotic environments? Chapter 8, Safety Circle. Imagine for a moment that you're standing in the center of a magical circle. Inside this circle, you feel safe, calm, and in control. Outside, the world may be chaotic, filled with demands, conflicts, and stressors. But as long as you're within your circle, you can engage with the outside world on your own terms, maintaining your peace and composure. Sounds like a superpower, doesn't it? Well, in a way, it is. And it's a power that's within your reach. This magical circle isn't a physical barrier, but a metaphorical one. It's what we call the safety circle, and learning to create and maintain it can transform the way you interact with the world around you. But what exactly is this safety circle, and why is it so powerful? To truly understand its potential, we need to explore the hidden dynamics that underlie our interactions with others and the world around us. Think back to a time when you felt overwhelmed by the demands or behaviors of others. Perhaps it was a colleague who constantly interrupted your work with trivial requests, a friend who always seemed to cross the line with personal questions, or a family member who dismissed your feelings. In these moments, it can feel like we're at the mercy of others, our peace and well-being constantly under threat. But what if you could create an invisible barrier that protects your emotional space while still allowing for healthy, respectful interactions? This is where the safety circle comes into play. At its core, this technique is about mastering the art of setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. It's about learning to define and communicate your limits clearly, ensuring that your interactions with others remain respectful and constructive. But it's more than just saying no or pushing people away. It's about creating a space where you can engage with the world on your own terms, preserving your emotional well-being while still fostering meaningful connections. But why is this so crucial for maintaining calmness? The answer lies in the nature of stress and emotional overwhelm. When we feel that our personal space, physical, emotional, or mental, is being invaded, our stress response kicks in. We may feel anxious, irritated, or drained. This constant state of alert makes it incredibly difficult to stay calm and centered. By establishing a safety circle through clear boundaries, we create a buffer zone that allows us to engage with potential stressors from a place of strength and composure. Moreover, setting clear boundaries ensures that our interactions with others remain respectful and constructive. When people understand our limits, they're more likely to approach us in ways that honor our needs and preferences. This mutual respect creates a foundation for more positive, less stressful interactions. So how do we put this into practice? One effective exercise is to start by identifying your personal boundaries. Take some time to reflect on your interactions with others. Where do you often feel uncomfortable or stressed? What behaviors from others tend to drain your energy or disturb your peace? These points of discomfort are often indicators of where you need to establish or reinforce boundaries. Once you've identified your boundaries, the next step is learning to communicate them clearly and assertively. This doesn't mean being aggressive or confrontational. Instead, it's about expressing your needs and limits in a calm, clear manner. Practice phrases like, "I'm not comfortable with that," or "I need some space right now." Remember, you're not asking for permission to have boundaries. You're informing others of what you need to maintain your well-being. Another powerful technique is to engage in role-playing exercises to practice enforcing your boundaries. Find a trusted friend or family member and act out scenarios where you need to assert your limits. This might feel awkward at first, but with practice, it will become more natural. Pay attention to your tone of voice, body language, and choice of words. The goal is to be firm yet respectful, clear yet kind. As you begin to incorporate the safety circle into your daily life, you'll likely notice a range of outcomes. At the most basic level, you'll develop a greater awareness of your own boundaries. You'll start to recognize more quickly when a situation or interaction is pushing against your limits, allowing you to respond proactively rather than reactively. As you become more adept at communicating and enforcing your boundaries, you may find that your interactions with others become more positive and less stressful. People will begin to understand and respect your limits, leading to fewer conflicts and misunderstandings. You'll notice that by consistently maintaining your safety circle, you're able to navigate challenging situations with greater ease and composure. At its best, mastering the safety circle can lead to a life where your personal boundaries are strong and universally respected. When you become skilled at creating and maintaining your safety circle, you create an environment where you can thrive emotionally and mentally. This can transform your personal and professional relationships, as you become known as someone who is clear about their needs and respectful of others. Of course, like any skill, creating and maintaining a safety circle comes with its challenges. One common pitfall is dealing with boundary violations. Even when we've clearly communicated our limits, some people may still try to overstep them. The key to overcoming this is to reinforce your boundaries consistently and clearly. Don't be afraid to restate your needs and, if necessary, to enforce consequences for repeated violations. Another potential obstacle is inadvertently overstepping others' boundaries while trying to maintain our own. In our efforts to protect our own space, we might sometimes fail to recognize or respect the boundaries of others. To address this, it's important to practice empathy and respect. Just as we want others to honor our boundaries, we must be mindful of and respect theirs. As you continue to practice creating and maintaining your safety circle, you'll likely find that it becomes more natural and intuitive. What once required conscious effort will start to happen automatically in your interactions. You'll catch yourself naturally asserting your boundaries in various situations, maintaining your calm and composure almost effortlessly. This shift can have profound effects on your life. You might find that your professional relationships improve as you become known as someone who is clear about their limits and respectful of others. Personal relationships may deepen as you're able to engage more authentically without the fear of being overwhelmed or taken advantage of. The reduced emotional stress from having clear, respected boundaries can lead to improvements in your overall well-being. Remember, the goal of the safety circle isn't to isolate yourself or to push people away. It's about creating a space where you can engage with the world in a way that honors your needs and preserves your peace. By mastering this technique, you create opportunities for more meaningful, respectful, and fulfilling interactions in all areas of your life. As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on how the safety circle might apply to your life. Think about areas where you might need to establish or reinforce boundaries. How might your daily interactions change if you had a clear, respected safety circle around you? How might it affect your ability to stay calm and composed in challenging situations? The journey of mastering the safety circle is ongoing. Each interaction presents a new opportunity to practice and refine your boundary-setting skills. As you move forward, remember that creating and maintaining your safety circle is not selfish. It's an essential act of self-care that allows you to show up more fully and authentically in your relationships and in the world. In the final chapter, we'll explore how all the techniques we've discussed come together to create a transformative approach to life. It's a perspective that can revolutionize the way you navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and cultivate lasting joy. Are you ready to discover the ultimate secret to not just staying calm, but thriving in the face of life's ups and downs? Chapter 9, Serene Path. As we reach the final chapter of our journey together, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. From learning to shift perspectives with the lens swap, to transforming criticism into growth opportunities with the diamond cut, to mastering the art of reflective listening with the verbal mirror, finding common ground even in disagreement, redirecting conversations with the neutral shift, harnessing the power of silence, and creating your own safety circle, you've acquired a powerful toolkit for navigating life's challenges with grace and composure. But this journey isn't just about accumulating techniques. It's about embarking on a transformative path that can profoundly change the way you interact with the world and, more importantly, with yourself. Welcome to the Serene Path, the culmination of everything we've explored and the gateway to a life of enduring calmness, joy, and personal growth. The Serene Path isn't a destination, it's a way of being. It's about integrating all the strategies we've discussed into a cohesive approach to life that allows you to remain centered and composed regardless of external circumstances. But what does this integration look like in practice, and how can it empower you in ways you might not yet imagine? First and foremost, walking the Serene Path cultivates a level of emotional resilience that may have seemed out of reach before. Think back to situations that used to throw you off balance, a harsh criticism from a colleague, a heated argument with a loved one, or a high-pressure deadline at work. Now imagine approaching these same situations with a sense of calm confidence. Not because the situations themselves have changed, but because you have. With the tools you've acquired, you're no longer at the mercy of your immediate reactions. Instead, you have the ability to pause, reflect, and choose your response. This newfound emotional resilience doesn't just help you weather life's storms. It transforms them into opportunities for growth and deeper understanding. Moreover, the serene path enhances your decision-making skills in profound ways. When you're no longer caught up in the whirlwind of reactive emotions, you create space for clearer, more rational thinking. You'll find yourself making choices that align more closely with your true values and long-term goals, rather than being swayed by momentary impulses or external pressures. But the impact of the serene path extends far beyond your internal world. As you continue to practice these techniques, you'll likely notice a significant shift in your relationships. The ability to truly listen, to find common ground, to set healthy boundaries, and to navigate conflicts with grace. These skills are the foundation of deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Imagine conversations that once would have devolved into arguments, now becoming opportunities for mutual understanding and growth. Picture yourself as the calm center in your family or workplace, the person others turn to for their steady presence and wise perspective. These aren't just pleasant fantasies, they're the natural outcomes of consistently walking the serene path. Perhaps one of the most empowering aspects of this journey is the realization that you can now navigate conflicts and high-pressure situations with a level of ease that once seemed impossible. Scenarios that would have once sent your stress levels skyrocketing now become manageable challenges. You'll find yourself maintaining your composure in situations where others lose their cool, allowing you to think clearly and act effectively even under intense pressure. But here's the truly exciting part. As you continue to practice the concepts in this book, you'll find that maintaining this state of calm composure becomes easier and more natural over time. What once required conscious effort starts to become your default state. It's as if you're reprogramming your brain's automatic responses, replacing knee-jerk reactions with thoughtful, measured responses. This doesn't mean you'll never feel stressed or upset. You're human, after all. But it does mean that you'll bounce back more quickly, that you'll be less easily thrown off balance, and that you'll have a deep well of inner peace to draw from, even in the most challenging times. And here's the ultimate payoff, the true magic of the serene path. As this way of being becomes more natural to you, you'll find yourself experiencing a profound sense of freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of your own reactions. Freedom from the need to control others or your environment. Freedom to engage fully with life, to take risks, to love deeply, to pursue your passions, all without the fear of being derailed by your own emotions or the actions of others. This freedom opens up possibilities you might never have imagined before. Career advancements that once seemed out of reach due to your stress responses or conflicts with others suddenly become attainable. Relationships that were strained by misunderstandings or emotional reactivity begin to flourish. Creative pursuits that were hampered by self-doubt or fear of criticism now flow more freely. But perhaps the most profound transformation is the one that happens within you. As you walk the serene path, you'll discover a deep sense of self-trust. You'll know, on a fundamental level, that you can handle whatever life throws your way. This inner confidence radiates outward, affecting every aspect of your life in positive ways. You'll find yourself taking on challenges that once would have seemed overwhelming, not because the challenges have become easier, but because you've become stronger. You'll approach life with a sense of curiosity and openness, rather than fear or defensiveness. And you'll experience a level of joy and contentment that comes not from external circumstances, but from your own inner state of being. This is the ultimate promise of the serene path, not just a technique for staying calm, but a transformative journey towards becoming the best version of yourself. A version that is resilient yet flexible, confident yet humble, powerful yet compassionate. As we conclude this book, remember that the serene path is not a destination, but a lifelong journey. Each day presents new opportunities to practice and refine these skills, to deepen your understanding, and to expand your capacity for calmness and joy. There will be challenges along the way, moments when you stumble or fall back into old patterns. But with each step forward, each small victory, you're not just changing your reactions, you're changing your life. So, as you close these pages and step back into your daily life, carry with you the knowledge that you now possess the tools to transform any situation, any interaction, any challenge into an opportunity for growth and deeper peace. The serene path lies before you, inviting you to a life of greater calmness, joy, and fulfillment. But the journey doesn't end here. As you begin to apply these techniques, you might find yourself wondering how to take your newfound calmness to the next level. What if there were even more powerful, unconventional strategies to reinforce your inner peace? The answer lies in expanding your toolkit with genius-level techniques. To truly master the art of staying calm in any situation and unlock the full potential of what you've learned, you won't want to miss the audiobook, The Power of Not Reacting: Genius Strategies to Stay Calm in Any Situation. Tap the center of the video now to continue your transformation journey.